Hello and welcome to EMS for SOLIDWORKS tips and tricks. In this particular video, I'm going to cover the topic of computing fill factor in coils using EMS. Let us now get back to EMS and then see how a wound coil definition is done. So let me edit the wound coil definition. To define a wound coil, it's simply enough to select the coil and also select the cross-section face through which the current will go in. Now when I go to the general properties, this is where I specify the wire gauge of the wire that is used to wound the coil. For example, I'm using a 30 gauge wire and I have 925 turns for this coil. The EMS program automatically computes my fill factor that's found to be around 62.8% or 0.628. So any fill factor that is under say 90% will be acceptable. So for example, what happens when I change the wire gauge? Now let me change the wire gauge to 26 gauge. Now automatically with 26 gauge and 925 turns, EMS complains. EMS computed the fill factor to be over 1.5. Now that's 150%. What that tells you is it is impossible to pack a 26 gauge wire and have 925 turns across this cross-section area. So it's very useful feature. It immediately tells you what is possible and what is not possible for a coil. So let me then, for example, then change the number of turns. So what happens if I'm able to, can I pack in 450 turns? And then automatically EMS computes the fill factor to be about 0.77. So that's fine. So with a 26 gauge coil, we can pack about 450 turns. Maybe we can even get 500 turns. And at 500 turns, the fill factor is computed to be 0.85. So EMS program actually computes the accurate fill factor based on your wire gauge and the number of turns you want for a coil for a given cross section of that coil. The cross section of the coil is automatically taken from the geometry of the coil. Thank you for watching this video.